It's always surprised me how resilient young trees are at being uprooted from the ground in which they're growing and transplanted into another spot between the months of November and March, when they're dormant, when they've lost all their leaves. They are, I suppose, in a way, sleeping. And if we don't wake them up too much, so heaven knows what I'm going to do to this will certainly wake it up, they don't mind being moved at that time of year, even when they're dug up like this, with no soil clinging to the roots. This is what we call bare root. They've been grown in nursery rows, and then at this time of year, as soon as the leaves have fallen, late October, November, up they come, and between then and growth beginning again the following spring, usually in around March, they can be moved with little or no check, quite surprisingly. The thing to do is just to prepare them a little bit for their journey. Any long, thick roots can be snipped off because it's these thinner ones which are going to grow and which are going to feed the plant. You don't need a great long wig of these longer, thicker roots. So just go over the root ball with your secateurs and snip them off. Not always easy. These long ones down here, look, isn't really going to need that. And all it does when you cut them off is encourage more younger ones to grow up behind it, up here. So that's never going to do anything. Not too much trimming, you don't need to go berserk, and leave on it the basis of what will establish it. And then work your way up the trunk. This is going to be a clean trunk, so this thing down here, you really don't need that. That can come off, and just work your way up with your secateurs, snipping off all these little tiny shoots right the way up until you get to the head of branches. I'm going to leave that one there because it will form another part of this rather nice branch framework, and this one here as well, this little side one. But there is one going right up the middle, and that's just going to fill out the centre, and I really want it open so it's healthy, so that will go out as well. And there we have a perfect tree. Now what I'm also going to do, because this has got an awful lot of growth to support, having lost a lot of its root system, is to shorten these shoots at the top, and I'm just going to take them back by about 6 inches or so, looking to make a decent shape. That's a foot, I know, more than 6 inches, isn't it? There's about 6 inches. Looking for an outward facing bud so that it'll keep this shape going, but it hasn't got quite so much to support. There we are, that'll do when it starts into growth. And that, for me, is a pretty perfect bare root tree. I've dug my hole, so I'm ready to plant. Planting time. Important thing is it goes in at the same level as it was growing in the ground, not too deep. Don't start planting it up here, it'll struggle and suffer and fizzle out. So we're looking for a soil level round about there. Put it in the hole, too deep, so I'm just going to push a bit of earth back just to make it sit, there we are, round about the right level. And then in the bottom of the hole, mycorrhizal fungi. Now, all living organisms have a relationship with what's in the soil, mainly fungi, and they work together for mutual benefit. Symbiosis. Do you remember we learnt all about it in science lessons at school? Well, this stuff here has got mycorrhizal fungi already in it, so sprinkle a bit in the bottom of the hole, and it's important that the roots of the plant actually come into contact with that. That's all you need to do. Pop it in. And what I am doing here is just ameliorating the soil before I put it back in with a bit of organic matter, particularly with bare root plants like this, which need, to be quite frank, every bit of help they can get. Come and lean on me while I just do this. There we are, that'll just help it a bit. Make sure it's perpendicular, absolutely upright, right level there. If you're worried about eyeing up, just lean your spade across and you'll see then that you've got exactly the right level where the soil mark was on the stem. And then feed back the earth, mixing in with it your organic matter. And there'll come a point in a second where it will actually stand up on its own, nearly level. I'm doing it with my hands first, and then I'll get up and give it a real bit of welly, quite literally with my welly. Back you come. It's quite important, particularly with bare root trees, that you plant them firmly, otherwise they're going to get wind rock and go all over the place. Really firm it in well with your heel to avoid wind rock. If it's not firmed in, it'll go all over the place. And what sometimes happens is you get a hole around the base of the trunk that collects water, and then when it freezes, it does it no good at all and the tree can die. Just prick over the surface with your spade like that so it's not flattened and that water doesn't sit there. And then all you have to do is the final saying: grow your bugger, grow. Lovely. Grow well, little tree.